Oh, interwebs. I just wanted to post a video before Vlog Every Day in August starts, VEDA, in order to kind of get the hang of this and editing and all that fun stuff. Um, just to kind of get it out of the way, maybe make things a little better come August, hopefully. And also because I wanted to talk about something that I saw in the Huffington Post today that I actually thought was really interesting about. It's really seen as something more in politics as rather than pop culture, but I'd really like to look at it from the pop culture side of things because I find the correlation really interesting. And pop culture has always been something that I was really interested in and am really interested in. And I do a lot of research, written a couple papers on it for classes and all that fun stuff. But I wanted to talk about it. What it is that Rush Limbaugh came out today and stated that The Dark Knight Rises, which is the new Batman movie coming out this weekend, is actually a slight at Mitt Romney to make him look bad. And the reason for this being that Limbaugh states is that the villain in the movie is named Bane. And Bane is also the name of the company that Mitt Romney ran. It was Bain Capital. And so he believes that this is some creepy liberal conspiracy to make him look bad by putting out this movie and putting out the villain Bane. Now, no matter whether you like him or not, this is just nuts. Like, just completely backwards crazy. And the reason being is that Bane was actually introduced as a Batman character for the comics back in 1993 for a storyline called Nightfall. And Nightfall is actually what the last movie in the Batman series is based around. The reason being is the first one started out, it was based around year one, and then the second one was based around mainly the Killing Joke when it comes to the aspects of the Joker and psychology and his background and all that fun stuff. And the third one that they're going to close out with is Nightfall, which makes a lot of sense if you've read it anyway. If not, I'm not going to give it away because you're just going to go to the theater and see it and be like, oh shit, it's crazy, and you'll understand why they're ending with Nightfall. The thing is, though, is that one, besides the whole Bane 1993 thing, is that this has been known that he was going to be the villain since before Romney was even known to be the presidential candidate. So he's just crazy that way, too. But the way that I want to look at it, really, is in the realm of pop culture. And the reason that I find this interesting is the fact that even though Rush Limbaugh is completely off base here, like somebody probably just said, "Did you know that Bane's the new villain in the Batman movie?" And he went, "What? Bane's also the name of Mitt Romney's venture capital movie. I have to tell the world, foam at the mouth, crazy." And so it's the idea that Limbaugh actually understands the fact that pop culture has an effect on society, whether or not we realize it as people. And that's because people, he believes, are going to go see this movie, and they're going to see that the villain is called Bane, and then they are going to make the correlation between Bane and Mitt Romney's corporation Bane, and they're going to be like, hey, evil both, oh, and just completely be blind to the fact that it has no correlation whatsoever. But he, in his own crazy way, understands the effect that pop culture has in society. That hundreds of thousands of people are going to go see this movie because it's huge. Batman has become a massive character in pop culture from the reboot with Batman Begins till the third and ending movie now. Comic book sales for him are through the roof. He has like 4 or 5 different spin-off series. Tons of people have been carrying it. Nightfall is actually, if you go into a Barnes & Noble, is on the must-read section because of the movie coming out. So people are going to go see this, whether, they like it or not. And so he realizes that they might make the correlation. And it's because so many people see it, and it's such a big thing in pop culture that they're going to go do this, and they might make a connection. And so I just wanted to bring that up to kind of look at it from that standpoint, because of the fact that whether we realize it or not, the things we see and the things we do in society, especially within pop culture, affect how we see the world, and they also affect what comes out of it. And I just want you to think about this when you go see The Dark Knight this weekend, whether or not certain things pop out at you, like whether or not you can see, clothing ads, like what kind of clothes they are, whether he's shopping at a certain store, whether or not they're destroying a certain building. Because although you might not think about it, these ideas in pop culture, people identify with Batman. They really like the story, they like the character, and therefore seeing these things in the background within this pop culture movie, whether they're stores or clothes or anything, will affect the way that we see the movie and what we buy after it, believe it or not. And so I just wanted you to think about that aspect of how pop culture affects our lives and bring up the Limbaugh story, just so that you can, one, hear about it, and two, just kind of realize how pop culture affects our lives, even in politics, and how it's important to, even in understanding politics, to understand pop culture and the society around us. So there is actually a link down below for Rush Limbaugh's story. So if you want to go ahead and go to the Huffington Post and read it, they have posted the audio clip from his radio show, so you can listen to when he was talking about the Dark Knight, the movie that's coming out this weekend, and you can actually read what the Huffington Post has to say about it as well. Okay, so link down below. So yeah, this video has gone a little longer than I wanted it to. If you stuck through the whole thing, fantastic. I love you for it. Hopefully this isn't too bad. I'm going to do some editing. It's the first time I've ever used iMovie for editing. In fact, I'm using the iPad to record this video. It's the first time I've ever done that as well. And so hopefully it turns out okay. And I will see you guys for VEDA. I might post another blog before that, just to, if something more interesting comes out that I want to talk about. Alright, and so I will talk to you all later, and see you on the interwebs.